When Reagan was president, virtually every Friday, when they weren't up out at their ranch, they would go up to Camp David. And what would happen at the White House is the helicopter would come and land on the south lawn of the White House, and the press would be taken out and put behind in a pen. We were penned in over here. This is the White House behind me. You're the helicopter. The doors would fly open, and the President and Mrs. Reagan would come out. Now, in those days, we had Sam Donaldson in the press corps. And Sam had one of those voices. Ooh, dogs would be barking 15 blocks away. Mr. President! Well, you all remember. You were part of listening to that. Well, Ronald Reagan, not only one of the handsomest presidents, but also one of the most gracious, polite people, was constitutionally incapable of being rude. He just couldn't be. So Sam would shout, over he'd come. And then we'd ask a bunch of questions, and he would make these factual errors, and we'd have a story. And Mike Deaver, who was the president's media advisor, would say, "Don't stop. I don't care what you do, just don't stop." Why do you have to stop? Wave, smile, do anything, but don't stop. Sam would shout, over he'd come. So Deaver found the most elegant, brilliant, I have to say, my hat's off to him, solution. Instead of the helicopter turning the engines off, they just kept the engines on. And even Sam's voice could not be heard over that, because the helicopter's right there. So from that moment on, here's what you saw on television. The doors of the White House would fly open. Out would come the Reagans. As I told you, he always knew where the sun was, and he'd turn, the cameras over here, so that just hit him so great. And he had that kind of almost a John Wayne walk, really looked just fabulous. Nancy, rail thin. Rail thin. She's got that dog. And she's so skinny, the dog is, and it's a little baby dog, dragging her around with the hat box, okay? Sam shouting. So you don't see that, but here's what you see. Now, just as they get the right point with the cameras, Reagan, reaches down, touches Nancy's arm, and looks at her with a look that every woman in this room wishes her husband would give her once. Nancy's getting it every Friday. Up into the helicopter, wave. And so this little vignette, and you see it over and over. I bet you it's glued in your little gut. You see it just as I'm telling it to you. Ah, with the hat box, the whole thing. And what does it say? What's the gut thought? Oh, aren't they a lovely family? Don't they love each other? Aren't they the best family? Of course, he always talked about family values. We knew, intellectually, we knew. They barely spoke to their kids. And they had a grandchild that they didn't meet for a long time. I mean, these stories were out there. The family situation was dreadful, but oh no, they were a great family, because that picture was so cementing in our guts, and it informed our feelings and our thoughts about the Reagans. Now, I'm not saying they didn't adore each other, because they did and they do, but nevertheless, the picture was enormously powerful and overrode not only what we heard, but what we knew. So I rest my case. So now we zip up to the Clintons. Zip right up. When I was writing my book, when I was researching my book, ooh, bad choice of words. Ooh. Forget that. Zap that. Erase that.